What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Idiocracy, written and directed by Mike Judge. Idiocracy tells the story of a man named Joe who volunteers for a government program where he goes into a hibernatic sleep for 1 year. However, things don't go well, and Joe ends up sleeping in a hibernatic state for 500 years, awakening into a dystopian world where everything is not how he knows it. In his sleep, in his 500-year catnap, the world has gotten completely dumb. The people who are in the world are completely moronic and dumb. All they do is value things that are that are commercialized, and they de- denounce things like reading, and writing, actually having intelligence. These people in this new modern world are the definition of the word stupid. They talk like cavemen. It's almost as if the world reverted back 3 million years. Now Joe has to assimilate to this new world. All right, that's the overall story of Idiocracy. Let's talk about it. I overall thought that this was a very good satirical comedy. Now, do I think this movie is absolutely perfect? Do I think this movie is a must watch? Honestly, truthfully, I don't. I do not think Idiocracy is a must watch movie. I think it's a very entertaining movie. I thought Mike Judge did a really good job at throwing in his at taking a jab at society at large with his satirical commentary on it. But I overall do not think that Idiocracy is a must-watch movie that you have to see to believe. I just think it's a very entertaining comedic movie that's backed by a really fun and interesting story and a bunch of actors who look like they're just having a good time. What makes this movie work to me is not only Mike Judge writing, his satirical writing, but also a very talented cast. Luke Wilson, who plays the character of Joe, I thought was actually really good in the role. I think Luke Wilson's a very underrated comedic actor. He's not as popular as his brother Owen Wilson, but I think Luke is good in his own right. And I thought he did a really good job at just playing the character of Joe Bowers as just this average man with an average IQ, but to everyone else in this dystopian future, he is the smartest man in the room, even though he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I thought that stuff was hilarious, and I thought Luke Wilson did a really good job with it. Maya Randolph, who plays the character of Rita, who goes into a hibernatic sleep along with Joe, I thought she was good in the role as well. I like the fact that she is a prostitute that Joe thinks is an actual painter because he because he misread, he misunderstood what Rita was saying to him before they went into hibernatic sleep. So he just took it as her being a painter. And I actually thought that Maya Randolph and Luke Wilson have very good on-screen comedic chemistry with one another. And I actually like that there's an underlying romance that developed between the two. I thought they played really well with one another. I enjoyed that stuff. Uh, Dax Shepard is in this movie. He plays a character called Frito Pandejo. I like Dax Shepard. I also think he's extraordinarily underrated and overlooked as a comedic actor. I thought he was really funny as Frito Pandejo, who pretty much plays Joe's dim-wittedly dumb as fuck lawyer. I thought Dax was hilarious in this movie. I thought he was great. I think he and Wilson also have really good on-screen chemistry with one another. You know, you got the above average Joe looking like the smartest man in the room to Frida Pandijo, who was the dumbest man in the room. And it just worked. Their on screen chemistry worked for me. I enjoyed it a lot. This movie has a supporting cast that includes Terry Crews, who plays the President of the United States. And in the scenes that Terry Crews was in, I thought he was absolutely hilarious as this ex wrestler, ex porn star turned President of the United States, who appoints Joe as his Secretary of Interior since he's trying to solve why they can't grow crops. And the reason why they can't grow crops is because since the world has gotten so dumb and so stupid, they think that this thing called Brondo, which is basically Gatorade, can make crops grow because it has electrolytes. Little do they know, it also has things that do not make plants grow. And Joe says, hey, let's just switch to water and see what happens. Of course, when that initially happens, everyone goes into a panic mode and everyone loses their job. And it's not to the end of the movie where crops actually start to grow, where everyone starts to hail Joe as a national hero, so to speak. I thought that whole thing was absolutely and utterly hilarious, and I thought all the actors did a good job of playing it straight. Like, this movie is really funny. It does have a lot of really good gags, just Joe interacting with this world that really makes it work. Like he goes into this faulty he when Joe first wakes up in this world, he gets thrown in jail because he doesn't have a barcode on his wrist, which allows him to pay for certain things. So he gets thrown in jail, and he pretty much cons his way out of jail because the guards are so stupid. Uh, and then when he gets his barcode thing, the machine misreads his name and calls him not sure. You know, it's again, it's this world relying too heavily on things like machines that are faulty and just don't work properly. The running subplot of Joe trying to get to this time machine is absolutely hysterical, especially when you get to the end when you find out that the time machine is just an actual ride, and Frito Pendejo just led Joe and Rita on because he wanted the money. But little did he know that by not telling them what it was, Joe can't go back in time to get his money. So like, yeah, this movie is really funny. It has a lot of really good gags to it. It has a very interesting story. It has a very interesting story and takes a good satirical jab at the way of 2006 America. And of course, when you apply it now in 2021, what really has changed? Nothing. The world is still getting more stupider as the years and months and days go on. Idiocracy is kind of ahead of its time in terms of that aspect. So, as an overall rating, I'm gonna give Idiocracy a solid. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It is a very enjoyable comedy. When you do apply it to the real world, this movie does hold up, and it does get some things right. But when you take all that out of it, just alone as a satirical comedy, I think it's really funny, and I think it still holds up now. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for Idiocracy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.